This is a security announcement. All units to the parade. It's another clown fight.
Fucking announcement of some kind.
Our mic's alive. Good evening, everybody. I'm Sandy Crevice, and I'll be mashing the buttons because I've run out of potatoes.
I'm Wilma Fingerdew, and I'll be mostly eating sponge.
I'm Wanker, and I'll be drinking anything I find in a bottle under the sink. Oh, domestos!
I'm your Harkness, and I found some raisin drops down near the skirting board.
I'm Norma Snookers, and I'm cross-stitching a lovely 3-course meal. While we're making a meal of things, let's get to the headlines.
News about fake news in the news.
Perturbators are once again in the pink.
Too hot, too messy, week 33 update.
Tharg, total rotter. It's official.
Atris is in a cheery mood this week.
And the BGS news is, well, not entirely dreadful.
Best this evening, we bring you news. News about fake news. Or maybe it's real. In recent weeks, Galnet has been feeding an article purporting to be from Aegis that we are indeed getting the war all wrong. Instead of bringing the Hackswing to combat zones with big size 12 boots on and issuing a thorough kicking to Tharg the Mighty's mighty minions and his little ones, they've suggested a preventative approach. The kind of approach that would stop Thargoids actually turning up in the first place. In essence, they've suggested that the new Orthrus variant Thargoid can be persuaded not to tell all his, or her, or their buddies that the target system is a juicy one, through percussive means. The Pilots Federation lists these systems as alert systems, and have suggested that floating around in supercruise, you might just be able to find an Orthrus, drop in, get its attention with a well-placed shot or two, dodge the shutdown field and the enormous caustic fart it lets out, lower the uber-powered shield, and deliver a coup de grace in time to prevent it escaping. And that might just be the best way to stop more arriving. Oh, and they've got shooty friends, and they scream for help. A lot. Anyway, if you can do all of that, then Aegis, or is it Aegis, believe humanity will be saved. If you do a lot of it. However, it appears that Aegis, or is it Aegis, might well have been infiltrated by Thargoid agents, as studies indicate the only thing worse than doing that is nothing. It turns out that getting your Thargoid probinator out and carving yourself some tissue samples is eminently more successful, and doesn't require a custom ship and Kevlar underpants, plus the peg on your nose. Are Aegis confused? Or is it Aegis? They're attempting to get us to bark up the wrong bark mound? Are they giving us stuff to do that actually prevents pilots doing the other thing? The Galactic Forums would have you believe, after extensive scientific study, that it's a load of tosh. And for once, we believe them. Oh, didn't we mention, if you do what Aegis says, or is it Aegis, you'll be eroding your Guardian enhanced weapons in no time, causing you to spend loads of cash on repairs, or swap them for expensive AX enhanced weapons. Don't Aegis have shares in those manufacturers?
The Federal Association of Painters and Sculptors, or FAPS, have heralded the news this week that federal warmongering despot Hudson has been prevented from seeking another term in office. With elections on the horizon, they were concerned that the plans to replace the little pictures in every ship with shiny new ones of a new president were being chucked in the bin as totalitarian nutjob Hudson was going the full dictator and declaring himself president for life. Whilst in the Empire that challenge and the definition of for life would be variable depending on how quickly someone could sneak up behind him with a sharp implement or slip something into his coffee, it was felt that in this case drastic measures were the only way to ensure that we all had a new portrait to look at later in the year. Whether that came with new gadgets and widgets for people who love to dabble in a bit of power play, nobody knows. But for now, it appears that Hudson's going to be hanging up his jackboots come next election time and handing over to someone else. Various candidates have announced their candidacy already and we haven't assessed their merits, but can be sure that incisive outlets, including the Galnet News Digest, will be dragging whatever skeletons they can out of the closet for each and every one of them and attempting to get their hands on any salacious details about their past, or their tax returns, or whether they attended lockdown parties and fibbed about it.
After 33 weeks, Too Hot, Too Messy, the Hutton-led initiative to deliver a Hutton mug and Megagin to all the stations in the galaxy has reached over 63,000 deliveries. Last week was up on the previous 2 weeks and average deliveries have remained above 1,700, which is good. No, really it is. One new commander joined the effort this week, increasing the total number to deliver even just one mug, yes, 17 of you, to 284 participants, who represent 93 squadrons. Hutton has the largest contingent with 77 pilots who have delivered over 30,000 mugs and gin, which incidentally is less than half the total, so thanks go to all the other squadrons taking part. The Buckyball Racing Club are established in second place with over 3,500 muggings, leaving the Winged Hussars in third with almost 2,800. The Paladins are in fourth, the Burpit are in fifth, and the Undead are sixth, concluding the squadrons that have collectively delivered more than 1,000 Hutton mugs and Centauri Megagin. He who shouldn't be named too often is still leading the deliveries table with over 8,000 mugs delivered. Some say that he's delivered 1 in 8 of all mugs. Waller81 is second with 7,200 delivers, ahead of Nem in third with over 4,400. Shay Blackwood, yes we see you in the chat there, is firmly established in fourth place with over 3,400, ahead of Infinite Dreamer in fifth with over 2,300. At last, Talking Mouse has spun the wheel to add the 8 monks they needed to break the 1,000 barrier to make them the 10th member of the 1,000 Club. Of course, we know all this because it's tracked by the marvel that is the Hutton Helper and updated live on the Too Hot, Too Messy event page at hot.forthemug.com/hotmess2. Also, the Helper is now fully updated and supports both full Tharg and Tharg Lite versions of the game, so however you play, your Hutton Rares contribution will be recognised automatically. Apart from the mere glory alone, there is an additional incentive in the form of a chance to win a real Hutton mug. Any commander that delivers 10 mugs and gin in the coming week will be entered into next week's draw to win a real Hutton mug. And you in the chat, keep tuning in. Unless, of course, you already have one, in which case you'll already have been immunised against mods. 31 lucky commanders have accomplished this so far, and you can see a little golden mug next to their name in the top commanders table. Last week's winner was DTK7C2, and that's no relation of R2D2 as far as we know. So keep listening for this week's winner to be announced in the banter bit after the news. Yes, you in the chat, keep listening. If you have delivered 10 mugs and gin in a week, in every week since the start 6 months ago, you'd have racked up 330 deliveries next to your commander name, and only 39 commanders have. If you haven't, why not give it a try? In order to join in the fun, you'll need to sign up by downloading the Hutton Helper from hot.forthemug.com/download, and then your mug and gin deliveries will be automatically registered for you by Antares' quasi-sentient, eco-friendly Nexus 6 bionic hamsters.
There was disappointment this week as the Pilots Federation declared that their much heralded bunch of new stuff for pilots had been subject to delays as a result of scurrilous action by Tharg the Mighty and his both mighty and mini minions. Members of the Pilots Federation were eagerly looking forward to stuff without even knowing what it was. Was it the ability to land on, then in, water worlds? Was it gas giant scooping, or a wholesome agreement to do something new with power play, as the two guys and a hamster who actually give a hoot about it were rather bored with it now? Or was it engineering? Or maybe a new ship? Whatever the case, the inability of humanity to fight off the eight-sided green gas-guffing gnarly aliens appears to have put the mockers and the blockers on us getting new things. There is a little hope, as they're expecting that by May this year they'll have some idea as to how we are going to stop the lightning, chucking little thucker launching meanies and dig deeper into the maelstrom, though whether these are cast Unidantian promises, pledges or just aspirations remains to be seen. In the meantime, we have to make do with the daring and daring do of Hackswing and the seemingly very confusing hunt for R2D2 that has everyone very excited at the moment. For what it's worth, all we know at this stage is that CO, also known by the moniker D2, has A. gone missing, B. sent out a cry for help that included static, C. has hung around some smashed ships, or smashed them, or been on them when they were smashed, and D. That's it. No further news yet. So if you have an idea where to find R2 or D2, or know what pawn to D3 means, or castling, then get in touch with Hanky. However, if you've spotted a mysterious person who can talk to Thargoids and has done a runner, then please let us know, as we'd quite like stuff a little sooner. On that note, time for some Hackswing.
Good evening, truckers! Atris 5060 reporting in with the latest updates on the Thargoid War. Humanity has kicked off a lot of Thargoid battle this week, and we need to celebrate. Hackswing has hard at work this past week alongside the Mode Alliance to win over Col 285 sector AF-E B13-5 and Aslate. Quick victories here gave us a good head start in Hezur, which is where we will be starting off this week. Additional targets will be decided after its competition, so keep an eye out for those updates, truckers. But to get back to our headline, what a week it's been for the AX community. 23 systems cleared of Thargoids, and including the 2 that we defended in Kokujo, brings it up to 25. Victories were achieved in B. Zora, Gliese, 3050, Hang, Gamo, Yamahi, Cabrasi, Isla, Hip 20492, Col 285 sector, Win-Z, B14-6, Heidi Sexter IM-LB8-5, Heidi Sexter LN-KB8-13, Ibisu Bormanunus Keats Veberke Jowl, Hip2422, Wolf121, Minowara, Kautsu, Hip19757, Munchheim, and Hip29596. This has been the most productive week we've seen since the war started, and definitely a sign that we may have found an effective strategy in containing the Thargoids. Part of this strategy has been the emphasis of collecting Thargoid tissue samples with research limpets and selling them to the rescue ships for systems in a state of the Thargoid alert, which seems to thwart the Thargoids' invasion plans. Additional research is being done to see what else we can do to bolster the defense efforts needed to keep Tharg from getting another win. Hackswing, focus on Hez-Er to let Tharg know we're not leaving until the job is done. See you on the front lines, truckers. Full mug!
After a few weeks of moderate activity, it's been dull as ditch water in Hutton space this week. 5 systems are getting themselves noticed for being, well, a bit crap, and You-Know-Where has taken up its rightful place. Avik is back in the news, but not for the reason you think, and in other news, a man's hat blew off in a moderate breeze. More on those stories coming up. Reassuringly, the low system on the poll this week is Barnard's Star, where every single faction apart from Hutton is either bust, in drought, in an election, or in a combination of these. Take your pick. That election is locking up a third of the influence of it. It should be over in a day or two, so pop over to Barnard's Star at the weekend to lift Hutton from its current low of 30%. In the news, but not for the usual reason, is Avik on 34%. Sirius are only a point behind unless we want to star in yet another chapter of the Forever War, boost Hutton's fortunes in this tiniest of systems. Next up is Hutton's most recent conquest, 36 off Yuki, on 37%. A war is pending between 3rd and 4th, which will tie up a quarter of the system influence for the next few days. A point higher on 38 is Epsilon Indy, where slow but steady progress is being made to lift the system. A war that started yesterday is tying up a 5th of system influence. A point higher still and finally lifting itself out of the doldrums is Ross 671 on 39. An election has just started between the 2nd and 3rd place factions, locking up a third of the system influence for the next few days. Hutton expanded into Groombridge 34 last week, but it is home to the Equestrian Naval Fleet, where they play water polo or something. How come the horses don't drown? I don't know. Anyway, there's another player faction there also, so Alvid isn't that bothered whether we stay or leave. At the overachieving end of the Hutton Systems table, we have only 3 systems above 60%, so the priorities this week are, if you want to truck something, boost Barnard's Star and Avik.
So Atreus was on helium this week.
It was on something.
Is it helium?
Right.
Is it helium or helium?
I'm not sure, but I think he probably needs a Strepsil at this point.
Yeah.
Is it
It
helium
was
or helium?
tritium. He'd been breathing
I don't know.
tritium.
Yeah, has he been huffing the tritium?
Is it
Tritium.
tritium or tritium?
It's tritium.
Tritium.
It's tritium.
Tritium.
Yes.
Well,
There's
there's only
always
Aemilia
bloody
tritium.
one, isn't there?
Is it HIP 29596 or is it HIP 29596?
It's hip.
I don't know.
It's actually hip 29,556 technically, but
Yeah.
but that's getting ridiculous.
I'm having an HIP operation next week.
Oh, is your HIP short for Hipparchus, like the catalogue then? That's cool.
Right.
Right.
So, did we see the live stream?
Oh, you can still
Most
speak,
of it.
can you?
I can, actually. I think I
Yes,
cleared
just
my
about.
throat.
Oh, welcome back, Aemilia. Where have you been? Yes, there was. Everyone's going on about... It was Sally and Bruce this afternoon. Everyone's going on about Sally's hairdo.
Sally,
very
did I?
bouncy
Did.
looking.
She's
Well,
done
to
something
be
with
fair,
it.
it's
I
better
couldn't
than
work out
ours.
what.
Well, much better. Any hairdo's better than ours.
It
Lot of
depends
volume.
if you want to see your reflection in it. Ours is better.
I don't know. Sally's is pretty shiny.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
And for purposes of balance, we must point out that Bruce has had a shave.
About 3 days ago, from the look of it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Apart from his top lip. Well, kind of.
Yeah, that was about 4 days ago.
He's been inspired by you, Chix.
Yeah, of course. Everyone is on.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the word?
Yeah.
I remember who was the chap who left, the young lad.
Ed?
Oh, which one?
No, the one after him. The young lad who
Zach?
went off to
Zach.
Well,
Zach. He
No.
always had this sort of scruffy toilet brush sort of aura going on, didn't he? He looked like he sort of shaved last month sometime. Anyway, enough. Nothing.
Enough of the sartorial dissing of these excellent people.
yeah.
Yes. Anyway, so live stream 28.
Were there any drops?
There were.
Yeah.
Guess what colour it
Anything
was?
fancy?
I'm
Ooh,
thinking it was
fancy.
grape.
Oh, beige. Was it beige?
Well, there was usual
Butterflies.
purple shiz.
Beige
I noticed
butterflies.
Somebody in the chat say, could I trade in 27 purple paint for a shipskin?
Although you
so
might notice that the new drops are from their summer collection. You might also
are.
notice if you step outside that it's not flipping summer yet.
No, the rain is cold, so it tells me it's not summer. So there was a long-winded explanation about they had some stuff that they never released. So
They forgot to give these out last time because there was one of the periods where
what?
they didn't get the drops out properly. So they
I'm
did
sure
them now
if
instead.
I go back through my screenshot archive, I can find it. 'Cause I've seen these.
Oh,
I've seen
I
these
think they
before.
offered them, but I think it was when they had to cancel one of the streams, so there weren't enough hours of streaming to actually win the awards for people.
Right.
Yeah.
So
That's
most
a
people
beautiful
didn't get a chance at them.
Oh, I want that.
So there's two. There's the
Why not?
Conda, if your ship recognition skills are better than half, and let's face it, most of us are. There's an Anaconda and a T9. the
Oh, I
Summer
thought it was
Night
I thought
Grape.
it was a crate.
How dare you? How dare you?
Well, crate and a
Dare
T9.
you.
So Summer Night Grape. You've got to be careful how you say that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's definitely a in the middle.
Yes, that's a Summer Night Grope.
Or a someone like gape.
Now, chaps and chapesses.
wasn't
Yeah,
gonna
I'm loving that Type 9 one. That looks
It's
fantastic.
well pretty,
yeah,
isn't it?
Does
It's
look
nice that.
I never
yeah.
get to see the streams now. I'm never home in time.
Well, you'll have
Well,
to
that's why-
pop it up on your phone for 15 minutes.
If you tune into Hutton Orbital at sort of about 10 to 9 every other week, then you can find out what kind of paint jobs there were.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can
but
see
you're
you can see
already.
what you missed.
Yeah, you're already. I have nowhere else to go.
See, I never see the streams either, but that's mostly because I can't be arsed.
Yeah, but there's that.
Yeah, but you miss out on all these cool paint jobs then.
Yeah, but I'm not into the paint jobs. I'm into hearing Chix tell us all about the stuff.
Ah, right.
All right.
You like vicarious paint jobs?
And is there any
It's the
news,
sultry
Master
voice.
Chicks, about drops for us
Well-
scummy partners to give out?
I don't know.
Did you miss that bit? Yeah, they're coming
no,
soon.
No. It's there in the script. I typed it.
I never read the script. That'd be ridiculous.
Those are big. Those are pretty big words, though.
The Elite Partner Program. That's us. Well,
Right.
that includes us.
Yes.
Paint jobs are coming soon.
TM.
DM.
But what they did have, stuff you can pay cash money for, is
What?
Frontier have a range of. They've been. I didn't notice at the time, but Bruce was actually modelling one of their sweatshirts. Look okay. Elite Odyssey, sort of little logo on the left boob.
The reason you didn't notice it at the time is because the screen
He
of
was
his
too busy
laptop was
looking at the
completely
boob.
covering it, so you
It
couldn't see
was,
either
yeah.
boob.
And then on the back, they have a very large logo, and it's like the ones I saw were
I thought you were
Explorer.
going to say cock and balls.
We don't know. He didn't turn around.
Yeah, it could be.
No, he had the combat one on. It was
I
the
see
you know
got
the
Dead Meat going now.
the what?
You got
Yeah,
Dead
Dead
Meat
Meat's
going now
going.
in the chat.
God, somebody say boob.
Yeah.
Oh, it was me.
Oh,
His favourite word.
It's not just the word.
Sally's hair is bouncy. His body, doesn't it?
I bet she wears Harmony. Showing me age
Timothy,
now.
she has to go up a mountain, dip her hair in the stream, and flip it all about the place.
It was Timothy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Timothy. Yes,
So anyway,
I went to school with him.
they had Bruce was modelling the black Combateer sweatshirt, and there was an Explorer purple one. So I think they come in different colours.
If you look
There was
very
a-
carefully at the image we're showing on stream, you can actually see the Explorer purple one on Sally's knee at the moment.
Oh yes. And
Oh,
the
just
black,
about,
the black
yeah.
one is on Bruce's chest.
Yeah, I got
Yes.
one of the few, or you got one of the few screen caps where you could actually see the logo as well.
Yeah.
I just randomly mashed the screen cap button a few times, like I usually do. So I try and pick the most ridiculous look
What
on
is
R's
that mug
face.
Sally's got?
That mug is part of the merch.
Yeah, it's one of the merch items.
Nice. I need
It's
to go
for
look at that.
it's one of the rare goods. It's a rum. I can't remember the name of it, and it's unpronounceable.
Oh,
but it's
Harmer? Is it Harmer?
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
yeah, it's the
Looks
one.
like Harmer.
Is it Harma? Is it Harma Silver Serum? Is that what it is?
Don't know.
Possibly.
I don't.
So anyway, if you're interested in that kind of thing, or you want to sort of expand your wardrobe, take a look at the merch in the shop. There's beanies and baseball cap type stuff as well. So in news, there was a bit of news, and if somebody would kindly splatter that link into the chat, people can go and look at the real detail. But update 15 has been
I shall do that.
put back a little bit into May. To be fair, we didn't know when it was coming in April, so it could have been the 30th. But anyway, it's coming in May, and they'll confirm the exact date nearer the time, as usual, to make sure everything works properly or satisfactorily.
Yeah, I guess on the
And-
whole, I'd rather they did it a little late and it worked first time, rather than doing it a little early and having to do 3 weeks of patches while people screamed and whined and moaned and mined for salt in the forums.
Or more patches, like 15 patches. Oh no, they're just updates.
No,
there was
these are content.
If you do look in that link, the next item in the link is about major rework to a part of the game, but the trouble is they don't really tell you anything more than that. So
That's because they've not told us that at all until, apart
No,
from
I
the
know,
hint
but-
that it's happening.
So why mention it at all? You've got something
Because
to say.
people keep asking where it is, because they said it was going to be this year, and that means January. Because
I know,
obviously, if
but
it's
no-
going to be this year, that means January.
So I'm going to do a thing this year, and then at Christmas,
January.
you're going to ask me the
Yeah.
thing you never told us about. When are you going to do the thing you didn't?
That's
tell us
right,
what
yeah,
it was?
January.
It'd be better if I just didn't say anything in the first place.
Yeah, but then people
happening in
complain that they're too
January?
close mouth. Nothing. The entire year's worth of content is being announced, released, played, deployed, and finished with, and patched.
Yes. So we could idly speculate on.
That's Slave Radio's job.
Yes, true. On what part of the game is going to be reworked, but let's not.
Well,
Let's just wait and see when it comes.
one little bit of rumour mongering on that subject. Given that they've just announced that they're shutting down player managed factions, or at least, sorry, they've shut down applications for player managed factions.
New applications.
Yeah. Existing ones that are already in are going to be processed, but no more new people can
Yeah.
ask for them. Because they want to do something major to make sure that PMFs actually have some actual power and influence within the galaxy and within the bubble.
Yeah.
And they're doing a major feature rework of something later in the year. I'm sure it's just coincidence,
Possibly.
but we shall see. Anyway, over to you again.
It's a very noisy laptop you've got there, Mia.
I know. Well, you should know.
I thought he was hoovering. She was hoovering.
It does sound like that. doesn't it? Yeah.
I'm doing something. Yeah.
So I can hear the GPU fan kicking in.
And
Yeah.
out, and in, and out. And that's something different, isn't it?
I think your laptop's got asthma.
It's got that kind of asthmatic wheeze about it.
So of interest to those who are or were on consoles or still are on console, the console transfer portal is reopening. I wasn't actually aware they closed. But
I did mine in day one, so I'm kind of
Don't blame you. Smart move.
But if you haven't transferred your console account to PC, the portal will be reopening again. And there's
Super.
I assume that somebody's posted that link, so if anybody's interested, they can read that.
Yeah, it's not actually opened yet, but they've posted this thread.
Yeah, it's coming back next month. But given it's the 23rd today, that's probably not very far away.
I'm struggling to find all this merchandise they talked about. I've not seen it.
No, I couldn't see it either. But I'm sure it'll be there real soon. Ooh, on the subject of things on the Frontier store, you've got until the end of today or maybe sometime tomorrow. It is currently their spring sale on livery for ships. So if anybody wants to buy any paint jobs or packs or things or whatever's, then as of now there is a sale on. As of this time tomorrow, there probably won't be. So if you're listening to this on the podcast, you're out of luck.
Yeah.
Are you telling us you're not going to diligently stay up all night and post?
Yeah, but it takes about 12 hours to get the podcast up these days. So.
And the last little bit of news was that if you buy the game new, which is probably nobody listening to this or certainly not tuning in, the live version of the game, i.e. the Odyssey version of the game, will be the default version rather. Because I think at the moment does it go into the Horizons version or does it give you a choice?
It's not just if you buy it new. It affects everybody who's currently a Steam user. Everybody who's currently a Steam user who is currently playing the live version will be fine. Everybody who's currently a Steam user who is playing the legacy, so 3.x Horizons only type version, will have to re-download the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
That's why it was a big announcement. Because they've toggled. It's a Steam thing basically. They've toggled which of the two versions is the default and which one's the optional. But that means that anybody that was on the default, it no longer is the default. So it'll auto upgrade that to the new default, which is live, and then make you download the legacy one again. Yeah, joy. It's a Steamism. So
again, it probably doesn't affect most people.
I'm sure that everybody here is playing in the full choc chip with vanilla Stripes version. So
use the Frontier launcher.
I use the mini launcher because I've got too many commanders to remember the passwords.
I think I was about 10 minutes behind on the live stream. By the time I managed to get off the test card that they put up, I watched it on YouTube, and then I thought, right, as soon as we get into stellar screenshots, I'll just flick over to Twitch and watch the live version of the live stream. So I missed out on all the stellar screenshots, apart from the last two. And I don't know if any of them were from Hutton Truckers or people we know. But, a few I saw, and I've seen them during the week in other places, but they were pretty good standard.
Pretty much always are
these days. Yeah,
there's some spectacular screen photographers out there.
Yeah, that's right. And they played a few videos. We used to play some, but we tend not to anymore. The High Wake had quite a nice one. So if you subscribe to the High Wake on YouTube, that's quite good. And the other one was from somebody Cops. It was called the Golden Hour, and it was a little sort of. It's not very long. It's 3 or 4 minutes, but the music was very good, and it was a montage. They've sort of told their story of what they've done in the game over the last 3 or 4 years. I thought that was quite good.
Yeah, but they couldn't really play that one properly because copyrighted music.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to find that one yourself on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll post a link to it in the chat in a minute. And then they had some, after the hour mark, about 10 past the hour in the second hour of the live stream, they had a couple of guests from the Frontier audio department. So Jim and Robin. I don't remember seeing Jim before, but he said he'd been on. Robin, I've seen 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, Robin's a regular.
Yeah, and Robin's like one of the senior audio designers, and Jim's was he director of audio? So
Director of audio for the whole of Frontier, yeah.
Yeah, so he covers all the games. And going back to hair again, aren't we? Facial hair is a thing in the audio department.
As apparently are baseball caps.
Yes. But I was astonished that nearly 60 people work at Frontier doing audio, across all the games they do. But 60, wow.
That really is impressive for a dead game, isn't it?
That is yeah. I wonder what they do all day. If you're into audio and you quite like the audio aspect of it, it's actually quite worth watching that bit, because they talk about all the music and Robin was talking about the new music and stuff that was coming in update 15, and there's a slight sort of change in emphasis of some of the music as well, because it's
more screaming.
Geared. Well, he made a statement and he sort of paused and then said 3 words. He said scale, tension, and dread.
Not orbital bombardment FX.
But it was really interesting, because they talked about scenarios where it's not like a film where you know what's going to happen and you write the score and it matches the thing you see on screen immediately. You've kind of the game, various triggers in the game determine where the music goes. So I thought that was really interesting. Lots of sort of stuff in there about evoking feelings and emotions, and as a sort of middle-aged British man, there are only two emotions, smugness,
hunger and thirst.
Well, no, they're feelings. Emotions are things like smugness and
right, yeah, I get you.
Righteous indignation. Anyway, and they finished off the streams. You may have seen this on a few channels, but I think it was launched as the stream ended. There's a competition to win a very, very nice Odyssey themed PC. I had
Link
a quick
in the
look at
chat.
the specs. Have a look at the specs, but off the top of my head, I think it was a 13900 with a 4090 graphics card. It's pretty tasty beast.
Yeah, that'll save you on gas bills.
Yeah, just keep your house warm with that. And all you have to
Probably
do is
quieter than this laptop, though.
and all you have to do is visit a few pages on the internet, and not those pages. Pages associated with Odyssey.
So you got to like and subscribe.
And game.
And like and subscribe.
I think I did 5 of them. Right? I'm pretty sure I was already signed up to Elite Twitch. Visit their Facebook page. Visit a couple of other things. So you have to physically do very much. You just have to click a few buttons. And each time you click a button, you get an entry into the competition.
Ooh.
And that will run until the 20th of April.
Ooh.
So you've got nothing to lose apart from a large electricity bill. And that was it.
Sounds like a good stream. I'm sorry I missed the last hour of it.
It was interesting. It's the last hour. If you've got a spare hour and you want to play the game and listen to something geeky, listen to Jim and Robin talk about the audio.
Yeah, we'll have to do that.
Right. Now, I'm going to check if this person's still in the chat. Yes, they are.
Super. So, moving on to other things. We have a space news update. You may remember a few weeks back we talked about Relativity Space with their world's first 3D printed rocket that was the first ever launch of it. And it was a relative success because it relatively never left the pad, because it relatively aborted because it didn't think it was going to work and it told them to off. Well, they took it back to the pad after giving it a good seeing to, and this time it launched. And the first stage went perfectly.
and then it blew up?
Not so much the second stage. The second stage went in every possible direction at once.
Yay!
Rapid, unplanned
Love a good
disassembly.
explosion.
Yeah.
I've just noticed that guy with the beige cap. He has the same T-shirt that I have.
Without looking, it
Tatooine National Park.
It's Tatooine
Yeah.
something on it. Yeah, I remember seeing that.
So with that rocket, then was that a relative success? 'Cause
Not this
compared
time.
to the last one.
Well, the first bit of
compared
it-
to the last one that never got
That's
off
true.
the ground, it was
Yep.
relatively successful.
Yeah.
And to be
Get a bit
fair,
further each time.
their press release regarding the, well, not sure whether you should call it launch or fireworks show, was that
Rapid unscheduled disassembly.
most new rocket companies and even established rocket companies tend to lose to rapid unplanned disassembly the first iteration of any new rocket, which is,
I'm sure.
relatively speaking, quite true. So,
I'm sure
relatively,
Werner
they're
von
right on
Braun
the mark.
started somewhere.
and his rockets ended up somewhere else, and somewhere else, and
Yes.
somewhere else.
And the rocket ended up
It's not my
everywhere.
department, said Werner von Braun.
Okay, so you're a fan of that as well.
Tom Lehrer.
Yeah.
Yes. I
It's
see
not,
somebody snuck in space news there.
maybe. Yeah, rocket science isn't difficult. You just need to be able to count down from 10 and hit a big red button.
Well, it's not rocket surgery, is it?
No. Or brain science.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Do we have a drum roll?
Winner, muggy dinner this week is Myopic Eagle,
Who's in the chat?
who's in the chat. So congratulations, Myopic Eagle.
He's just
Myopic
answered the like the
Eagle
space
wants to-
news as well. Excellent.
if myopic,
Is it Eagle
if
or
myopic,
Eggle?
Eggle 3. If Myopic Eggle 3 wants to claim
Best sick day ever.
their Hutton mug, what should they do, Flossy?
They should contact us at I took part at huttonorbital.com and with details of their commander name, proof of who they are, and their mailing address. And
we'll
we'll
get back
get it
to them.
down them. Yeah.
Yeah. And normally a good proof of ID is if you take like a photograph, get a screenshot from inside your cockpit which shows your commander name or something like that.
Yeah.
And this is their first time in the chat as well, because I saw the message at the top that was their first time chat.
I may have some
That's
more
handy.
good news for Myopic Eagle further down, so stay in the chat, Myopic Eagle. You're not
I think we
done
can guess
winning
where that's
tonight.
going.
Yes, you're not done winning tonight, that's all I'm going to say. I mean, you've got a Hutton mug, but the big prize is coming.
2 hot mugs.
No!
No. Nobody gets 2 Hutton mugs. Well, okay,
No.
one or 2 people, but that's special cases. Generally, nobody
Yes.
gets 2 Hutton mugs.
Yes.
So, speaking of prizes and giveaways and charities, which we weren't, but we should be, because we should always speak of charities,
Cherry, mate. Yeah.
Cully is running his model giveaway again. Again.
Yay!
This week, he's giving an 8-inch cut one away. Sorry, cutter away. An 8-inch cutter away. It's absolutely glorious. There's photos of it on Facebook if you are in the Hutton Truckers group. And if you're interested in winning it, you just need to give a reasonable donation, £5 or equivalent in foreign currencies, to the charities he is supporting. I've just put his Just Giving page in the chat. Mm-hmm. Yes,
I've
Dead
just
Meat.
been-
Only use it as a spaceship. It is not suited for other purposes.
Yes. Never mistake it for a Lady
and-
Pleaser 3000.
And I have been told 8 inches is very big.
That
Well,
depends,
we shall
that
see,
depends on who
shan't
does the
we?
telling, but yes, it can be.
They say inches, they mean centimetres.
Yeah, quite often. But yeah, if anybody's interested in winning it, then make a donation to charity of £5 and pop into the Facebook group and let Cully know that you have donated. And he will enter you into the draw. And later this month, well, actually a month from now, he will be making a draw and you may well win it. And from what I've heard from the people who've won them, they are amazing. And I'm very, very jealous, and I never win anything, so, nah.
I've got 2 of his.
Show off.
Right. Am I seeing a note there somewhere that says it has the letter E?
And the letter C.
Ooh, electronic
letter
countermeasures.
That's the one, yeah.
That's the one,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's right. There's an Echo Charlie Mike to announce. Or
Ooh,
not
when?
announce. Well, we know it's August, but we're not certain when. Or at least we are reasonably confident of when, but we can't say anything yet because we need to get some ink on a piece of paper and some scribbles and one of those handshakes and get it all
You
sorted.
need to
But
get a wet
So
signature.
when we have a date, how would someone go about joining?
they would buy a ticket. And then they would
Where
drive
would
down.
they buy that ticket?
There
This is going to
will
be like pulling teeth, isn't it?
there will be a website announced, which may be not entirely dissimilar to previous websites used by ECM, but that's still being tidied up at the moment. So don't try it until we
So
announce it.
We know
Will-
vaguely when. Do we know
Will-
vaguely where?
Somewhere down south
In the UK.
in the UK.
Dan Saf.
Yeah,
Dan
Sounds so exotic.
Yes.
it is.
Will the announcement be before or after the event?
We're not sure about that yet.
Yes,
No.
definitely.
With luck and a following wind, the announcement should be within a week or two. At this point, it is very, very, very close.
We might have
Soon.
actual
It is.
news next
It
week.
is. It is close enough that we are willing to tell you that it definitely exists. It is definitely an ECM. It is definitely not called DaveCon. We have confirmed this. It is not DaveCon. David asked us to explicitly to tell you it is not called DaveCon. It is ECM. So there, that's done. It will be down south, not a million miles away from places we've run ECMs before. So a lot of people will know the area. And it will be broadly the same as ECMs we've run in the past. There will be a day ticket to get in, and that will cover your access to everything in there and having fun with all the people and all the shenanigans that ensues. And that will also include your lunch. There will be an evening meal as an optional add-on later on. It will be in a hotel, and you'll be able to book rooms in the hotel at reasonably reasonable rates. But I mean, hotels are expensive.
Reasonably reasonable.
Yeah, hotels are expensive these days. We've done what we can on the room rate. David's done what he can on the room rates, but they're still struggling after lockdowns, and they can't do much in the way of making it dirt cheap for us like they may have done in the past. So sadly, it is what it is. But it's quite close to quite a lot of commanders, so they may be able to turn up.
Will you be
park.
going to DaveCon?
I will definitely be going to DaveCon. I will be networking DaveCon, so I better be there.
Yes, he really has to be there.
Chix, Mia, Flossy, you all going to DaveCon?
Oh, I don't know. It depends
It's a
on where
long
and
way
where it is.
south.
Possibly not.
Yes, possibly not.
We have
I'd
got
like to. I'd love to. But
confirmed
I'm gonna try.
non-attendances from Psycho Cow and Moof. Sadly, they're just unable to make it this time.
Aw.
Yeah,
Aw.
which means we've got a confirmed non-attendance from the stage and the PA system.
Yes,
So-
I will not be it.
So
Okay,
the event may be live streamed on somebody's phone, and
We
maybe
use traffic cone.
general announcements by shouting through a traffic cone, which
who
Chix
are
will
we
be
gonna
wearing on
blame
his head
when
the
it
rest of the
goes
time.
wrong?
Me?
Oh, we'll still blame Moof.
That's true. Yeah, we
Was
can always
this
blame
you?
Moof, even if he's not there.
Yeah, you can still blame Moof. Yeah. Okay.
We will have some people bringing PCs, no doubt, and some people bringing VR rigs, no doubt. Although these days it'd probably be an Oculus Quest 2, and it's less of a rig and more of a cute little pair of goggles. But and there will be lots of
Quest 2.
the Meta Quest 2. Some people may have Oculus Quest 2s before they rename them. A lot of people are first buyers around here, so. And there will be lots of people with board games, and there will be a very well stocked bar. And actually, I don't really need to say more than that. There's a bar. Who cares about the rest?
Yes.
Will
Yes.
be
That'll be fine.
rapidly unstocked.
Yeah.
Yes.
They may or may not be a
Rapid
hotel that's hosted us
Oh,
before, in which case they may or may not remember what we were like last time, and they may or may not stock up better.
It'll be a rapid, unscheduled disassembly of the stock in the bar.
Yes. Rapid scheduled drinking.
Yes. Shall we move on to Word of the Week?
Oh, we have a word of the week.
We have Word of the
Do we
Week.
have to?
Yeah, we do. Word of the Week is frunce.
Frunce. Can you use it in a sentence, please?
I can use it in
That
the
isn't
sentence.
from last week as
Would
well,
you like
is
to know
it?
what it
No.
means first, though?
Well, I'd rather hear it in the sentence and try and
Okay.
figure out what it means.
The radio team frounced their way through another seamless show.
Ah, so it's one of those negative things that never happens.
Well, seamless should have really been in inverted commas.
it means to you do something really well.
Sort of. The meaning is to frolic exuberantly with noise and energy.
Seamless.
Frounce. I'm just going to copy that and paste it straight into the chat.
Frounced.
Frounce.
Frounced.
It's a good word to say if you're Scottish.
It is.
It actually sounds quite. Actually, it sounds like it's
I'm
possibly
just
on the
having
east
a
coast
wee
of Scotland.
frounce.
Frounce.
Frounce. I've had a wee
Frounce.
frounce.
It's just down the road from Dunoon.
I've had a wee frounce and I'm ready for a lie-down.
Yeah. Good word, though. Definitely a good word.
It is a good word, yeah.
I'll file it with all the other ones I can't remember.
Don't we just listen to
That is-
just listen to Fruits in, just listen to Vulcarius fruincing around in the green room next week. I'm sure that they will use every single word of the week that we've ever had.
Little Grey 86 has just won the internet for me and said, "Isn't Paris in France?" Paris is, in fact, the capital of France. Right. Speaking of drum rolls and badoom tissues, we've got Commander Vulcarius to blame, but let's say to thank for
No,
this
go
one.
with blame.
Yeah, let's go with blame. What do you call an anteater who captains the USS Enterprise?
This is
Jean-
Vulcarius.
Jean-Luc Picard-Vark.
Oh.
Aardvark! Aardvark! Aardvark!
Aardvark.
Aardvark! Maybe move on to Flossy with the CG
Yeah,
news.
Flossy, save
Yeah.
us, please, please save
And
us.
Frounce over to the news.
It's Flossy. It's Flossy. It's Flossy. It's Flossy. And the community goes.
Hello, Flossy here with this week's CG News. There were no CGs last week, and there's none this week either. There is news on the search that started last week though. Earlier today, Galnet posted an update, despite what was said further up in the news. Far God cultists rescue CO Ginny. CO Ginny has arrived safely in the Luyten star system, aboard an Order of the Far God megaship. A message was transmitted by the first apostle of the True Chapters, a proactive sect of the pacifist religion, from aboard the Testament. The one known to non-believers as Subject D2 or CO Ginny is sacred to us as the Preceptor, the first human to interpret the will of the Far God. We know her to be a holy emissary on a personal pilgrimage that exposed her to great danger. I was able to convince my brethren to locate the Preceptor and offer her safe harbour from the heretics. I beseech the Preceptor to help us hear the Far God's divine thoughts as she does, but she informed me that the time was not yet right. She requested a reunion with her friends, who also seek ways to commune with its heralds. Whilst this insistence on collaborating with the unworthy is curious, we have faith that Far God guides her path. One day the Preceptor will prepare us for the extinction of all life. It is our honour to serve her. Professor Albert Tesoro gave a statement to the media. I am very grateful to the First Apostle for her help. The Testament's timely intervention routed several unidentified hostile ships that were hunting CO Ginny. Once she has completed a medical assessment, we hope to learn more about her recent findings. Congressman Tom Gillespie has instructed Aegis not to make formal contact with Far God cultists, whose faith is outlawed in the Federation as well as the Empire. A week's clemency has been issued in recognition of Theo's safe return, but the Testament's presence deep in federal territory is likely to irritate President Hudson. And that's it for this week's CG News.
Flossy told you what to do.
And now it's over to the Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger of news. It's Witherspoon and Beetlejuice with Galnet News Digest.
Galnet News Digest, 23rd of March 3309. We read the news so you don't have to. In this week's news, Hudson is out. Salvation is hiding. Sio has been found, and there's something huge hiding in the maelstroms. President Hudson won't be standing for re-election in June, having lost the vote on the Hudson contravention this week. This means there will be someone else standing on behalf of the Republican Party, and as not one of them has a portrait, seems hugely unlikely that any of them will win. Ex-pirate Calico Zach Rackham is also expected to stand, but he suffers from the same faceless problem that the rest of the Republicans suffer from. The only illustrated candidate is Liberal Party leader and current Shadow President Felicia Winters, who is consequently odds-on favourite to become the new president unless Hudson can find a way to get his name back on the ticket. By the way, isn't it odd how Hudson hasn't aged a day since he became president? His picture continues to look exactly the same as it ever did. This is a sort of reverse Dorian Gray effect. His portrait continues to look as young as ever, while the actual president, whom nobody ever sees, is old and shriveled and walks with a stoop. Seojin A says that Salvation's consciousness has been uploaded into a Guardian computer, where it continues to plot malevolence against the Thargoids without the encumbrance of a 200-year-old body and all the malfunctioning glands that entails. Observant discoverer of supermassive nothingness, Commander Zulu Romeo has noticed that the Pilots Federation is giving away completely free a supercomputer and has put two and two together. Salvation is hiding in that computer, and as soon as the lucky winner plugs it in and installs the Odyssey flight control software, guess what's going to happen? Salvation is going to come popping up out of the machine, taking control of credulous commanders and getting them to collect even more Guardian relics in exchange for some anti-Thargoid toys. And he will bring the galaxy to a swift and conclusive finale, with Thargoids and humanity all being wiped out, unless the lucky winner chooses to download the legacy mode instead. If they do that, we'll all be saved. The Far God cult also wants the universe to end, but they want the Thargoids to win the apocalypse, not Salvation. It's the same end of everything, just achieved in a slightly different way. However, this week, they've been useful, snatching ex-test subject Seojin A from detention at the hands of Azimuth's hired thugs and taking her back to Mama Tesro in Aegis. Sio has been trying to verify her theories about Salvation's consciousness being saved to the SSD of a Pilots Federation supercomputer, but she also has the handy ability to talk to Thargoids. It's hard to imagine what she might want to say to a Thargoid, but she can do it if she wants, and that's bound to come in terribly handy at some point soon. there's exciting news about the thing in the maelstrom. This afternoon's Pilots Federation livestream featured a short video clip in which it transpired that there's something very big and Thargoid-shaped hiding inside the Thargoid maelstrom. I wonder what it could be. In any case, whatever it is, it appears to be able to play atmospheric music, and it likes caustic fog and lightning. In slightly less exciting news, what is probably going to be a massive overhaul of the political and governmental structures of the galaxy has been pushed back to next year, so Power Play and the good old BGS have another 12 months of life in them, which is more than you can say for a lot of the minor factions, even the ones run by commanders, many of which have dwindled away after their founders discovered Call of Duty. Many of them are now as old as poor old Zachary Hudson, the president, not the picture. Some of them are beginning to wonder if the best damn space sim ever, Stellar Citizen, will release this century, or whether they need to stock up more nanomeds and progenitor cells, because as everyone knows, it's going to be worth the wait, just like a journey to Hutton Orbital, only much, much longer. And that's this week's Galnet News. Galnet News. We invent some vaguely plausible news stories so you don't have to.
Thank you, Commanders Beetlejude and Witherspoon. I still have no idea over who is who on the Schwarzenegger and DeVito comment.
Best not to ask.
Yeah. Anyway, now over to the Hutton Helper results.
Welcome to the Hutton Helper results. The Hutton Helper results are sponsored by the Hutton Helper, the only third-party resource to come with a little cabinet to store your rewards in. This week we have the following events: the Best Outside Broadcast filmed entirely on set Cup, the Best Red Carpet Diva and Award Ceremony Tournament, the Maddest Rider Request in an Animated Holovid Deja Vu Trophy, the Best Bad Guy Takedown in a Cop Movie Charity Shield, the Fastest Meanest Seat Warmer Spectacular, and the Longest Fanciest Limo Award. So, put on your fanciest frock, smile for the press, and make sure you lift a goodie bag on the way in. The Hutton Helper results are: A Radish, not a radish, A Radish, jumped 38,000 light years to come first in distance travelled. And then Cometborn jumped 25,000 light years. Montgomery Python sold 11,000 tonnes of cargo. And XTC Mr. Sly sold 11,000 tonnes the next week. Montgomery Python is also his top mission runner this week with 686 mission points. And so is XTC Mr. Sly with some mission points. Alex Zuno handed in 700,700,700 credits worth of bounties, and then did again the same again this week. This is like deja vu all over again. Anyway, Attic 2 handed in 2.3 billion credits worth of combat bonds, and then handed in 2.4 billion credits worth of combat bonds. Dart Virtual, possibly related to my laptop, destroyed 557 Thargoid ships, and then destroyed 1,701, a very Starship Enterprise. And Wojciech Danny Boy delivered 1,040 people to their various destinations. And Buick McCain delivered 2,347. So, let's have a look then. There are decals for... Oh, Jim! Decals for a radish, Fluidity for systems visited, Boomtastic for cargo bought, Lurient for exploration data cached in, Wojciech Danny Boy, Val Silvana for objects scanned, Dart Virtual, XTC Mr. Sly, Buick McCain, Jack's Ring Rider for Cargo Bot, Val Silvana, exploration data handed in, and Frog's Friend for Oremind. I could have sworn Myopic Eagle was in there, but maybe they're coming next. Please email i2part@huttonorbital.com and arrange to collect your Hutton decal kit, which this week consists of an invite to an after party, a bajillion sequins, and a 3-movie deal. There have been 6 Hutton runs in the last 7 days. And they are Myopic Eagle, you're there. You don't get anything for this, sadly. I've lied to you and I don't know what to say about it. Anyway, you made the Hutton run in 1 hour 23 minutes and 43 seconds. Norbert Patenod, 1 hour 23 minutes and 51 seconds. Bandicoot, 1 hour 23 minutes and 52 seconds. The Berk, 1 hour 24 minutes and 11 seconds. Uber Dave 5993, 1 hour 24 minutes and 12 seconds. Steve King, 1 hour 24 minutes and 28 seconds. There is a whole galaxy of stuff out there needing Lithobreaker, desalinated, sugared, taken offline, exploded, launched, rung in, decked with boughs of holly, motivated, evacuated, unfriended, dejected, manhandled or woman-handled, smeared, deflected, kept warm in the oven, emphasised, snuffled, flip-flopped, mistranslated to and from Spanish, killed, mugged, ginned, wrapped up with a pretty bow, shit shot, rescued, having their immersion ruined, battered and deep fried, dead dropped, champit, destroyed, bought, sold, squeezed, inflated, recognised for their outstanding contribution, liquidated, evaporated, smelled, licked, discombobulated, recombobulated, headbutted, rubbed, compressed, enveloped, strained, fermented, murderised with an S, interrobanged, upcycled, violently downcycled, disallowed, reallowed after consulting VAR, smelted, loved, adored, and cherished. Not forgetting probinated. And you can earn yourself a very fetching Hutton decal for doing it. To get involved, you just have to go to hot.forthemug.com and download or sign up for the spectacular Hutton Helper, available in 3 alluring formats. Let's face it, anything has to be better than discover that you've been shortlisted and then not winning anything. Anyway, that's it for this week. Back to Studio 5.
So is that what you did to Myopic Eagle then? Shortlisting them and then not letting them win anything?
Eagle.
That is pretty much what I did to Myopic Eagle. Oh no. Myopic Eagle shouted woohoo and I'm like, yeah. Oh, that was further up, that's okay.
Yeah, Myopic Eagle's gone. The mug's enough, thanks. So I don't think they mind too much.
It's a good thing you're the apology officer.
It is. I can only apologise. It's all I'm allowed to do. They won't let me do anything else. They won't let me press any buttons or touch things, so I can only apologise. Anyway, if you work hard next week, you'll get one next week.
This is true.
Thank you. Thank you, Mia. Next we go to Aemilia Hawke for the Galnet Race Digest.
You are about to listen to Aemilia Hawke. She tries all the galaxy's most dangerous rare items, so you don't have to.
Whilst the old adage and cunning marketing slogan by diamond jewelry firms says that diamonds are a girl's best friend, and yes, they do sparkle and have loads of industrial uses, but compared to some precious goods in the galaxy, they're actually not that hard to find, and of course, are relatively easy to manufacture to a higher standard than the naturally occurring ones. There are, however, some rare mineral gems and crystals that are even more beautiful, far, far harder to locate, and as a result of having absolutely no practical use beyond the aesthetic, are curiosities that are more sought after. Chairbone's blood crystals are found in only one location, a small, volcanically active planet in the Chairbone system. You might find a sealed vacuum jar in a far-flung imperial palace, or given as a gift between the exceedingly wealthy. But you won't find them adorning someone's ring, hanging around their neck as a pendant, or making someone's crown jewels look that little bit more jazzily. Earlier this week, I was met by one of the local population for a safety briefing before going looking for this naturally occurring crystal. The briefing is followed by 4 days of intense training, climbing, low-G abseiling, spelunking, whilst in a remlock mask, and, what was a little worrying, a first aid course covering lacerations, puncture wounds, and respiratory emergencies. The local mining corporation is hundreds of years old, and the population of the system, as with ancient New Zealand and their obsession with rugby from a young age, all specialise in one thing: hunting blood crystals. To a person, they're outrageously fit, as slim as a willow switch, and strangely, nearly every single one I've met is covered in a network of reddish-pink scars, which they take great pride in showing off at every opportunity. The climbing walls down on the planet's surface are ridiculously tricky. I saw blood crystal cavers hanging by one fingertip whilst slinging their legs above their head. What's more, the most advanced of these walls are covered in blades and spikes. Before I cover the search for the crystals themselves, the one they have here in the reception area, under armed guard, it's as tall as I am. A deep, vibrant blood red. Not the dark, dull Venus stuff that... It's arterial red. It's translucent, clear, and forms a regular geometric shape as if crafted rather than collected. I'm told that once collected, they're not cut or polished, just encased in a vacuum-sealed container at the point where they're harvested and shown off in all their natural beauty. Our first expedition out under the planet's surface was to a recently discovered blood crystal geode, over 1/2 kilometre under the surface. The journey down through winding tunnels is a hard hike, made harder by the fact that we're wearing what looks like full tactical body armour and our remlocks. As we hike down, a stretcher passes us in the other direction. Yeah. Anyway, at our destination, we enter a small cave, and in the middle of the floor is an airlock. Our guide makes it very clear that once we enter the airlock, the air is toxic. We're asked to darken our visors, engage the audio dampening in our helmets, and turn off all the lights. The airlock contains a winch and a hatch in the floor. With an only slightly reassuring thumbs up, my guide connects the cable to my suit, opens the hatch, and starts to lower me down. It's pitch black, even once my eyes adjust, but he lowers a second cable near me with a very faint light, and as he turns up, I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. I'm hanging in midair, suspended in the middle of a giant geode, and the light is reflecting off thousands upon thousands of blood crystals. Even the dimmest light is reflected in 1,000 directions, and as I bump into the dangling lamp, the noise, even though the dampening field echoes, it echoes perfectly. The view it's like nothing in this world. Below me is a pool that I can see bubbling away. I mean, this is a geothermically active area, and my suit readout tells me it's over 50 degrees Celsius in here. These gems have grown inside this small pocket of water and gas for millions of years. Suit sensors tell me that the air inside here is sitting at over 100% humidity, and there are trace elements within it. My guide lowers down next to me with a finger to his lips, reaches one chainmail gloved hand over to a wall, and very carefully taps with a special hammer. A small crystal comes away, which he immediately seals into a container at his belt before pushing a button to evacuate the air. He cracks off a second, and to demonstrate how sharp they are, he slices through a strap of thick leather on his belt. It's like it was made of tissue paper. As we go to leave, he indicates an area of the floor near the bubbling pool. In the dim light, I can see the bones of some hapless adventurers. Back up at the surface, and clear of the airlock, he explains that once found, the geode is capped, opened, and no air from the outside world is allowed in. To illustrate why, he opens one of the 2 glass capsules he brought. And in seconds, the beautiful crystal inside is just a small round mound of red dust. The other he hands to me as a gift from the mining corporation. I mean, just this tiny shard of crystal could buy me my own ship. Okay, so the danger seems obvious. Finding, harvesting, and returning safely with one of these is a hazardous occupation that consumes entire lifetimes, some shorter than others, of the locals. One thing I've discovered is that the atmosphere inside the geode isn't toxic, though you wouldn't want to breathe hot, humid air for that long. But it contains the trace elements that cause the crystals to grow. Once they hit your lungs, and in the warm temperatures, they crystallize, and quite literally, you'll start growing your own blood crystals from the inside. For a very short time, you'll be outrageously rich. But soon after, so will the coroner that performs your autopsy. This is Aemilia Hawke reporting for the Galnet Rares Digest, and I'm enormously privileged to have seen these. Gazing into the deep red of this one back in my quarters makes me wonder how many lives have gone before to allow me to hold this simple, fragile, and ever so beautiful crystal.
Thanks,
Nice bit
Aemilia.
of shine.
That sounds like one of the prettiest missions you've been sent on to do the research.
Yeah, it was. I mean, normally it's like monsters trying to eat me or a poisonous something or other that I've got to eat or drink.
Yeah. This time you just need to be very careful not to cut your finger.
Yeah, not to die horribly.
Or your lungs.
Yeah, or have crystals growing out.
Yeah. Yeah, not fun.
Yeah.
Not safe, but definitely pretty. Yeah, not safe,
Very
but definitely
pretty.
pretty. Yeah.
It's very pretty.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll find somewhere fun to send you next week as well.
I have no doubt.
Mm.
I think that's it, isn't it?
I think it is. We missed anything?
Anyone else?
We missed anyone? Anybody got anything else they want to say?
No.
Any more questions that we won't be able to answer about ECM?
Oh, loads.
Well, ask away and I'll not answer them for you as best I can't.
Well, I'll not ask them then.
Oh,
So
okay.
apart from not knowing where it is, when it is, how we can pay.
Or who's going, or how we
Who's
can
going.
pay.
Well, you
Where the
can pay-
website is.
It's all
You
crystal clear.
can pay with credit card or grubby cash
Or when the announcement will be.
real
Can I
soon.
pay in arcs?
No. Not even Frontier are
Can I-
allowed to pay in
can I-
arcs.
Can I pay in purple paint jobs?
Ancestral tattoo packs?
Oh, that would be great to turn up with.
Right, I'll have 6 tickets, please. I've got plenty of them.
Be great to turn up with purple pajamas. Go, it's my purple PJs.
Yeah, but you'd have to smear the ancestral tattoos all over your face as well.
Yeah.
Actually, I remember at
PJs.
at LaveCon a couple of years back, Eddie Lee Wise, sorry, Edelweiss, did turn up and dye everything purple.
Did they mean to turn up and dye everything purple?
Well,
That was a good event.
yeah,
I
he
had
tried.
so much fun on that app.
He tried to dye his hair purple to match his to match his avatar in game. Unfortunately, he didn't have time to dry it, so he hastily destroyed a hotel towel and made a bit of a mess of a hotel bathroom and his own shirt and everything else he touched for the next couple of hours.
Oh, wow.
And everything was purple because it was still leaking off him. I think thankfully the towel cleaned up well enough when he soaked it in the bath, so it wasn't too bad. And his hair was actually dry by the time he went to bed that night, so he didn't destroy the linen on the bed. But
was he actually purple by the time he went to bed that night?
Oh, he was still purple, and so was most of what he was wearing. The moral of this story is wash-in dyes can't be rushed.
Yes.
That was a good event.
It was, yeah.
Oh,
it was so good. I mean, I caught COVID, but it was totally worth it.
Yeah, it was totally worth it.
So what?
I just not long recovered from COVID, so I wasn't caring. I couldn't get it.
I still haven't had it.
I've been licking the same person you were, Aemilia. I got it too.
You did as well, yeah?
I don't know how I still haven't had it, but I still haven't had it. Even in the gaps between lockdowns, the place I work was sending me to Germany and to France and all sorts of different places. And I was sitting in those little metal aeroplanes, and going through airports and
going to you work for Bomber Command.
Yeah, going to conventions with 1,200 people at them, and it's just
we just got raided. We just got raided, and we're about to stop.
Yep. Hi everybody. Bye everybody.
You see the numbers
just chatted.
Plummet.
Welcome, Raiders, to Hutton Orbital Radio.
114. Well, welcome to the end of Hutton Orbital.
Please subscribe because you're not going to hear much else until next week.
Yeah.
Because we've just hit the end of the show.
Join us next week.
He came over just in time to catch the horn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. For those who are new here, you might want to turn your headphones down because there's about to be something very, very loud going on.
For the mug!
You were warned.
For the mug.
Journey too long, or cargo too small. Profit margins never really mattered at all. We're gonna take the cargo where it's needed today. Super cruising all across the Milky Way. We're taking anything, anytime, anywhere. Loading all the teen out to the brim with the rest for the more, for the more, for the more, for the more. Yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the more, for the more, for the more, for the more. Yeah, everybody sing the trucker song. Flossy always seems to crash into the sun. Skibble the pilot on the Xbox One. Alvin at the free, you know he leads us well. Trucking across the galaxy, now everybody out. For the more, for the more, for the more, for the more. Yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the more, for the more, for the more, for the more. Everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. For the more, for the more, for the more. You know just where we're coming from. For the more, for the more, for the more, for the more. Everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. give me a large path that I can land on, and I'll give you cargo and sing you my song. No point 22 light years to go, cruising to Hutton. No journey too long, no cargo too small. The profit margins never really mattered at all. We're gonna take the cargo where it's needed today. Super cruising all across the Milky Way. We're taking anything, anytime, anywhere. So shout it out loud like you don't even care. For the more, for the more, for the more, for the more. Yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the more, for the more, for the more. Everybody sing the Hutton trucker song. For the more, for the more, for the more. Yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the more, for the more, for the more. Everybody sing the Hutton trucker song.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the show. Everyone's buggered off now, so why don't you bugger off too?